I'm just going to create a simple hex project. Alright, so let's just say simple JS. So here I'm going to choose the JS example here, hit next. Okay, here we go. Everything looks fine. Finish. So this template is went ahead and created for us. And we can actually, I'll go ahead and just open up this index.html file. This is actually a web browser that's inside of Eclipse right now. And I'll just open up my source file with me. So here you see a very simple JavaScript example, because this is actually an HTML page. You can see here. Actually, let me open up with the source here. So this is actually all we got here. We've got a very simple HTML document here. And you see we have this div here, which is showing what this guy is right here. And you can see it's actually very similar to the syntax and structure of ActionScript. So we have this JavaScript target already set up. And as you can see, I've just added this div here. And when you do that, the hex compiler automatically generates some JavaScript code that says, whenever you write trace, go ahead and push it to this div here. So that's actually all how easy it is to actually work with creating some JavaScript and some HTML here. So suppose I want to let's get rid of this hex. Hello from hex and FlashTent. Actually, I think it's one word, right? Let's do a camel case. Keep it exciting. And so this is actually something else that I'm going to show you right now. Is that the compiler is wickedly fast. And this even goes up for larger projects. So you'll see here that, again, this is this simple HTML web page here I've got here, that as soon as I hit save on this guy, so I'm going to hit Command Save right now, the compiler, I don't know if you just saw that, but it just compiled it. It took about, what that was, a fraction of a second to compile. So then if I refresh my browser, you see that actually I'm seeing my updates. So what's happening to that really quick compile? Well, it's generating a whole bunch of JavaScript. Whoops, it's going to open up. We don't want to do that. I'll just open up. I don't have my JavaScript editor right now, so I'll just show this right here. So this is some of the JavaScript that it's creating. Now this will look a little gnarly to people who are not familiar, both with JavaScript, but also the how hex generates the JavaScript. But all this is doing is basically setting up the minimal of hex. So yeah, you're going to have a few hundred lines of JavaScript here, which you can minimize and take it down to very little. But this is just the very minimal that you need in order to have hex work in a browser, and so it can kind of cross compile. Actually, it's not really cross compile. To properly generate the script, so you have the hex API is actually being mimicked right here in this JavaScript. And again, at first it's going to seem a little overwhelming and a little much here, but then once you start actually becoming familiar with your code in hex, you can see how you can see what's going on here. So you can see here, actually here is my main method. So here is like main. So you can actually see the class as we're defining here, and the main method here is right here, and you can actually see where it's generating the JavaScript code from here right there.